Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you
Okay,
started
we're
recording.
going. Yeah. Okay.
Okay,
All right.
technologies.
Um, so could you please introduce yourself and the organization you work with?
Uh, my name is Ekaterina Ungvitska, and I am the program development manager at the Downtown Eastside Women's Center. Yeah.
Okay. What inspired you to join the Downtown Eastside Women's Center?
Well, I've heard about it. Oops, sorry. I've heard about it for a long time, and I'm a feminist myself, so I
Mhm.
always wanted to kind of to contribute to the women's organization. So that's how and I've been, working in this area for a
Right.
long time. So of course I knew about it.
So what did you do before?
So before I was working for another nonprofit organization. It's called Immigrant Services Society of BC. It is helping immigrants and refugees in Canada. And before that, I was working actually in downtown Eastside as well with Atira Women's Resource Society, so
I
also a
see.
feminist organization. So it's kind of been around for some time,
Yeah.
coming and going and working with different vulnerable populations.
Right. Okay. So why was this facility created for specifically women?
So it was created specifically for women back in the 70s. It was actually created by women of the community
Okay.
because there was a need. So they came up with the idea to have a safe space where women could come and have a respite, a little rest, or a space where they could be safe from maybe like domestic violence, also where they can share any problems, and and other women would understand them and don't judge. So yeah, that basically was created as a safe space for women.
Right. Good. In your experience, what are the circumstances leading to homelessness?
Well, there is definitely quite a few,
Hmm.
and they are usually intertwined, and a lot of times there is uh, they are coming together and they lead to homelessness. So, to name them, that would be mental health issues such as
Right.
depression, uh, different, might be schizophrenia, bipolar,
Hmm.
what else? PTSD, childhood trauma, and then a lot of times that leads to substance abuse. And on top of that, we can add domestic violence, and or just unlucky circumstances. I know quite a few women. We've had quite a few clients who were absolutely fine, but then at some point of their lives, they lost a job, they couldn't find another one, they were struggling, and then at the end, they couldn't pay their rent, and then they
Hmm.
had to leave. And basically, they had no support system, and they ended up on the street.
I see. So how has the pandemic affected the homeless population, as well as your organization's effort in aiding those experiencing homelessness?
Well, definitely, it did affect a lot. So first of all, on top of already so many problems in the area, as I
Hmm.
mentioned
Yeah.
before, the pandemic added another layer. So one of them would be that a lot of people had to stay home, and they were affected mentally. They are very lonely, social isolation. So when you already have mental health problems and you add on top this big, you know, challenge in the world, that definitely affects a lot of people.
Right.
And then another one would be is that a lot of organizations in the area were a lot of clients rely on many organizations to provide food, services,
Mhm.
clothing, necessities. They closed down because of the pandemic. And
Right.
so these people couldn't actually get a lot of services and
Hmm.
still struggling with that. Still, there is very, very limited services available, and that definitely affects them a lot. Yes.
Mhm.
And to answer your question about how our organization was affected, is we were, and again, if there were a lot of problems before when clients would come and they would need, mental health support,
Right.
pharmacy, referral to the pharmacy. Now, on top of that, we have this layer of, where to go for services. How do I deal with
I think you're cutting out right
is
now.
low pressure on us because clients. Oops. Hi.
Hi. I think you cut out.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can
Yes.
hear you now. Yeah. All right.
Yes. Where did I cut out?
Around, you were saying something about the clients and the services weren't able to get to the pharmacy.
Yes.
Right.
So, and definitely, so people are struggling with getting access to the services because a lot of organizations are closed. And we as an organization are also struggling with referring women to other organizations. And because they cannot go to anywhere else, they come to us with multiple problems now. So there's a lot more pressure on us
Hmm.
providing services.
So things are like stacked on top of each other, right?
Exactly. Yes,
Right. All
absolutely.
right. So how are homeless people discriminated against in the community?
Well, there's a lot of stigma already about downtown Eastside community,
Yeah.
and definitely during pandemic we saw more of that coming out. So a lot of people are scared, and they already see people who live in the community as someone who has the disease, any kind of disease, who don't follow the rules, and so on. However, what we saw starting in March is that a lot of people quarantined or stayed within their community, because a lot of times they don't actually go anywhere. They definitely don't have an opportunity to travel to another country.
Right. Yeah.
So in the downtown east side, we haven't seen any cases of COVID until summer.
Oh,
Yes,
really?
yes,
Wow.
not
That's
one
really good.
case of COVID exactly
Mhm.
until summer. And then we just prove the point, these that's not who's spreading the disease. Although a
Right.
lot of people think that, we only started to see cases in the summer, and it was like one by one,
Hmm.
because people in the whole lower mainland started to travel more and actually brought the virus inside the community.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe you started going to the shops in downtown East Side, passing by, using some of the services, and that's
Hmm.
how virus started to appear here. But that was one of the definitely stigma that
Right.
people have about this area.
All right. So what impact has the Downtown Eastside Women's Center made on homelessness?
Well, we try our best, of course. We
Hmm.
also have a shelter. We have a center and a shelter of about 50 beds. And we provide, these beds to women, to homeless women. And we also have housing services. So if a woman comes to the center and she's homeless, or she has a problem with her landlord or with a partner and she has to leave her place, we help her to find another housing, which is very
Hmm.
difficult in Vancouver.
Yeah.
We know that,
Hmm.
absolutely. These people are angels. So they try to find housing for her. They help her to settle down. We provide some furniture to start with. And if a woman has any problems later on, for
Hmm.
example, she has some argument with the landlord or there is misunderstanding, we also help her to deal with that.
That's amazing.
Mhm.
Yeah. All right. So that's the last of the questions. I'll just stop recording now.